Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Less than 10 hours from now, members of Congress will hear from several witnesses, including a former high-ranking intelligence officer who says the U.S. government has recovered craft from non-human species and is keeping the public in the dark. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is looking ahead to tomorrow about that hearing. He's joining us now in the studio. Kyle?
Well, yeah, Mark, UAP, or Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, is the government's new term for UFOs. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this hearing. Tonight, one lawmaker who helped organize it says there will be a lot of information for the public to digest tomorrow.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
By now, you've probably seen this video. The U.S. government claims it still doesn't know what the object is. Fighter pilots off the Atlantic coast in 2015 struggled to keep up with it. This triangle seemed to hover over a California military base, and this unidentified object zipped across the sky over the Middle East. They're among a handful of videos declassified in recent years. Now, several members of Congress want the Pentagon to come clean and reveal what it knows about UFOs. 366 reports made since March 2021.
I think there's a lot of questions that the American public needs to know.
Tennessee Republican Tim Burchett thinks the Pentagon is withholding evidence of possible extraterrestrial encounters.
I want transparency. Just release all the files that they have on it. Quit with this redacted stuff, and let's get it out there.
Tomorrow, former intelligence officer David Grush will tell Congress he was denied access to information on a decades-long secret UFO retrieval program. The House Oversight Committee will also hear from retired Navy Commander David Fravor, who says the military has observed objects descend 60,000 feet per second. Fravor tried to intercept a UFO off the San Diego coast several years ago. He said it was about the size of an F-18 with no markings, control surfaces, or obvious signs of propulsion.
I don't know who's building it, who's got the technology, who's got the brains, but there's something out there that was better than our airplane.
Members of Congress will also question former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, who says pilots training off the Atlantic coast were seeing UFOs daily.
If these were tactical jets from another country that were hanging out up there, it would be a massive issue. But because it looks slightly different, we're not willing to actually look at the problem in the face. We're happy to just ignore the fact that these are out there watching us every day.
Late tonight, Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who helped organize the hearing, said she met with two of the witnesses today, and based on the info discussed, tomorrow's hearing will, quote, have a lot of information for the public to digest. Definitely listen to the questions these members are honing in on. The Pentagon has denied any knowledge of extraterrestrial contact, and there are still plenty of skeptics and those who want to see more than witness testimony.
And tomorrow's hearing is scheduled to begin at 7 a.m. Pacific time. We'll have a link attached to this story where you can watch it live. Mark.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. What started as a dramatic situation tonight ended calmly just hours ago after people across Spokane got an emergency notification saying the bomb squad was on the South Hill and neighbors needed to shelter in place. Within an hour, we learned from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office the squad was investigating 2 old sticks of dynamite. The people who reported them own the home they were found at and believe they belong to a relative who used to work in the mines. The bomb squad concluded there was no threat and they removed the dynamite. New developments in the case against the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students last fall. The suspect, Brian Coburger, is not providing an alibi ahead of the trial, but according to new court documents, the suspect did say, quote, he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was not in Moscow at the time of the murders. Coburger did not specify where he allegedly was at the time of the murders. His attorney also wrote that Brian Coburger stands firm on his right to remain silent. The suspect's trial is scheduled to start on October 2nd of this year. Well, after a hot weekend, today felt like a bit of a relief. We saw cloud coverage, even some wind tonight. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Good. Jeremy, you're saying these cooler temperatures, they're not going to last forever, though.
No, they are not. But they are quite nice. Look at that. 64 degrees and cooling quickly, especially now that our wind's dying down. Wind at just 8 miles per hour out of the west is a good sign if you like a cool night. Seriously. With a lack of wind, our atmosphere will cool quite nicely, especially with a lack of cloud cover overhead. Mid-60s across much of the region. I seriously think by tomorrow morning we will see some 40s dotted on the map. That's as wind dies down, and notice wind significantly calmer, but it's starting to shift from more westerly to more northwesterly in areas, and that's pulling in some of that cooler air that sticks around through tomorrow. Notice wind basically negligible through the rest of the night. And as we have those clouds clear out, we get radiative cooling. All that heat escapes up into the atmosphere, and by tomorrow morning, we are down in the low 50s in Spokane. Much of the inland northwest near 50 degrees, some places in the 40s. And then in the afternoon, it looks a lot like today with less cloud cover and less wind. And then we start warming right back up.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And just into our newsroom tonight, crews in Lincoln County are working to put out a 20-acre wildfire. According to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, Level 1 be-ready evacuations are in place for the area of Porcupine Road and Highway 25. Not much else is known at this hour. We will continue to bring you updates just as soon as we learn them. Meantime, we are continuing to track a new fire burning near the Snake River in Whitman County tonight. The Hawaii fire has burned nearly 500 acres and is threatening crops and grazing land, as well as critical infrastructure, including 911 towers. There are currently 4 20-person crews battling the fire on the ground, and 2 helicopters have been ordered and will be arriving soon. State mobilization has also been authorized. At last check, the fire is 0% contained. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The Washington Department of Commerce just issued a new round of COVID relief funding more than 3 years after the start of the pandemic. 73 businesses in Spokane received about $3 million. The only businesses that qualified for these grants were those in the hospitality sector, like restaurants, spas, and hotels. We heard from the owner of Gander and Ryegrass today. He says the grants have helped him keep afloat.
The grants that we've received over the years, and especially this one, really create some room to function as we should. The pandemic really kind of changed everything. You go from a blossoming restaurant to a fine dining restaurant to what do we put in a box?
9 businesses in Spokane received more than $100,000 each. We reached out to them today, but they did not want to talk on camera. They did say the money will go towards supplies and workers' pay. The city of Spokane now has an official city attorney after more than a year without one. In last night's city council meeting, council members voted 4-1 to approve Lyndon Smithson's appointment. This comes after last year when Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward named him an interim city attorney. Smithson was a longtime attorney with the Spokane County Prosecutor's Office. And the suspect accused of killing a Seattle couple and injuring 3 others during a shooting at the Gorge Campground was back in court this afternoon. 26-year-old James Kelly is accused of shooting 4 people at that campground back on June 17th. According to court records, Kelly said he was on psychedelic mushrooms at the time of the shooting. 29-year-old Brandy Escamilla and 26-year-old Jocelyn Ruiz were shot and killed. Kelly's trial is set to start on August 25th. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. New tonight, a popular Idaho destination, often called a wholesome hidden gem, is now facing several sexual assault allegations. Morgan Romero with our Boise sister station learned of multiple instances reported to police over the past 2 years of employees assaulting guests and coworkers. She also learned an employee named Ellie Bond tried to report an incident where she was assaulted, but she says resort management did not support her.
And it was just very apparent that they will do anything at the expense of their employees or anyone really to keep their good name and to just get more, keep that business pumping.
So hearing these other assaults, it seems like maybe there's a culture of employees thinking that this is okay, or the lodge sort of cultivating an atmosphere where this sort of behavior is accepted.
That second man there represents a lodge guest who has now filed a lawsuit against the resort. Shore Lodge denies the allegations and responsibility, but they do say the appropriate actions are being taken. They also say the accused employee was acting on his own and not within the scope of his employment.